Hello, everybody. This is Ahmed ranting again this morning. It is 6 o'clock, a little bit after six, and it's March 7. And today I want to talk about a very special day. It's a great story that shows how strangers can put their life online to save other strangers. And this took place in Sina in the winter of 2010. And we were doing a story there in Sina, and we had a crew, and uh, we stayed there in one of the resort there in Sina, and it was raining all night, and well, not much, and probably something you see here in Minnesota summer, probably every other day. So we didn't make much of it. We had to second day to go to Sina Airport, and leave for Cairo because we have something to do there. We kind of, we had a van, we had a driver, and the driver seems very confident. The roads broken down at this time, and I know them, and they don't really fix road that much. It's all sandy, and people are familiar with problem, familiar with where you turn, where you stop the van and go push a rock. Egyptians are very resourceful. They just coexist with problems, with pollution, the food shortage, rational political oppression, corruption. They navigates through chaotic traffic and people and dogs. So they know how to deal with problem like that. But when it comes to rain, just Egyptians do not know how to deal with rain. A few inches of rain, the whole city will stops. The traffic stops. Everything is dirty, and people call in sick, and just stand still. But that day, the driver, convinced us he could do it. A few spots of pot of water, and he said, "I've been driving for 4 years," and his name was Sugar. How could you argue with that? So we went alone because we had to leave, and all of the sudden we found out there's a big body of water, and everybody's standing, cars are standing, trucks are standing, and it looks like a big lake. And how did where did all this water come from? The second day, I mean, it was raining in the evening, but the second day was sunny and everything. Most of everything is dry. Where all this water come from? Obviously, when there is no drainage, or when there is no, service to speak of, water will just gather as all the rains in Sinai, gather in that area. And we couldn't go the other way. We need to go to the airport. So people, turn around, do whatever, and but the driver, of course, I'm the only one who can speak Arabic in that van. I have an American crew, and he convinced me he could do it. He could go through it, and and Sugar, are you sure? He said, "Yeah, look at that truck. He went through it," and the other truck was a military truck, big, and went through it. And we had a small van, and I can do it. And when urgency to leave, I convinced He convinced us he could do it. Okay, we agree on one condition that he always veer to the right because the water was coming from the right to the left, and the left is where the drop is, where most of the water are gathered. So veer to the right, sugar. I said, okay, I'm sure. Yeah. Tawakkal Allah, inshallah. When people say tawakkal Allah, inshallah, you know you are in trouble. And so we drove a little bit slowly and to the right, and things were moving. And as we get into the middle of the water, getting deeper, and the water gather around the van. And when you look outside, all you see water. You don't know left, right, west, east. You know, it just was the most amazing scene. This is in Sinai, you know, where the last flood was 4,000 years ago. And then, you know, keep to the right, sugar, keep to the right, I keep saying, keep to the right in Arabic. And so, you know, it seems like Sugar, the driver, just got disoriented, and instead of veering to the right, he just sharply veered to the left. And by the time I screamed at him, right, 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 the water just pushed us with force, and all of a sudden we drifted to the big abyss, and the van just flipped on its side and just sank. Half of it was sinking in a deep water. When we were shocked, couldn't know what to do. Nobody was. There are three people sitting in the back, a lot of equipment, cameras. Sugar just slammed to the windshield. Thanks God I had my seat belt, and my head hit the dashboard there. And once the van settled, we looked, and just shocked and disbelief. Nobody saying anything. And all of a sudden, we saw the water just seeping into the van and rising under our feet, over our feet, covering the equipment. And it seems like if we just stay there and do nothing, we're gonna just we're gonna be drowning inside the van. So Tom, one of the camera person in the back, opened the window, broke the window. So open the door. So we start kicking the door, and just cannot open the door. You know, water is gushing, and so we rolled down the windows, and we got out of the window, you know, one by one. And but where do you go? There's just a massive body of water, and took us a few minutes to get out and sit on the edge of the window, and all of a sudden we saw you know, tons of people surrounding on the other side. You know, stranger come from nowhere, standing over there, looking and screaming and cheering us. Actually, stay there. We're gonna get you. And within few minutes, we saw this young man coming with a big rope in his hands. And he explained to me he's going to throw the rope to me because I was sitting in the window there outside of the van. And tie the van, instructed me to tie the rope in the window. And people will come, you know, he'll hold the rope from the other side. Uh, and 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 people will just come sliding on the rope to the dry area over the water. Of course, uh, that's theoretically, but how that rope hold, you know, it's just where it is. I asked, I actually joking with this guy once. come closer and ask him where this robe was made in Egypt or made somewhere else. Uh, no, we made it here in Sinai. People in Sinai, they think they are in a different country. They're very proud of themselves, what they do, and they feel the rest of Egypt do not pay attention to them and ignore them, and there is some animosity between the Bedouin, they call them in Sinai, and the general culture in Egypt, in movie and lecture and culture. Don't trust them with all that crap. But those are the wonderful people who stayed with them before and after and during. Here are a stranger coming to this guy was almost submerged in water up to his neck to come as close as possible to us. So he can talk to us and give us the rope and hold the rope. And so the first one, Fred, was the first one. Fred was the head of the group here, and everybody knows Fred. Is on public television news hour, untold story, and has been telling story for years. But I don't know if he ever told that story. And he's gone all over the world tell stories. And so he was, he's a small, kind of small body, skinny, and he just hang on that rope and went through it like a small barrel. I mean, there was no problem. They were very smooth. And how he, two of his feet holding the rope with his hands and feet, and it looks, like it's just comical. It's just, people are dangerous, about to die and start laughing. So the first one went through, and once he got to the end of the other rope, and people just gather on him and grab them and snatch him out of the water. So it worked. Next one was uh, Tom, a camera person, videographer. And Tom is bigger and longer, and so it took a while to go through that rope, and the rope was just swinging back and forth, and this young man holding on a rope from the other side. So Tom made it through, and then the next one was the driver didn't want to go. I think he was shocked at this moment. So we had Nikki, producer, and she absolutely refused to go through this, and she's not going to hang on a rope. She was very terrified, afraid. And I said, you saw those guys, they've done it. Said, no, absolutely. So the driver took over and went through, same thing. And so that young man noticed that that young lady is refusing to use the rope. And he told me if she doesn't want to hang on a rope and use the rope to go over the water, I'm gonna come as close as possible. And she jumped on me. She jumped, and I'm gonna hold her, and I'm carry her away. That sounds very risky. And that's what option do you have? So I explained to Nikki, here is options you have. Either you use the rope, or he's gonna come closer here, and you jump on him, not on the rope. And he jumped. So of course she had no choice. And this guy, a young man, I think he's like in his 20s, and he came as close as possible. And I held Nikki's hand, and she leaned out from the window. I mean, the window next door to me, and she came and jumped on this guy. And this guy, with one hand, grabbed her as he's holding on the rope. And he was the one, she came on, she jumped on his back and, piggyback him. And she hanged on him, and as he's holding on the rope, and he carried her away. And that was the most amazing thing you've seen. Here is a stranger, never seen this. Anybody, he's took put his life on the line to rescue an American who speak English, could even understand what she's saying. And so once Nikki went, now I am the only one left. Of course, by this time, you have you have four people went through, and now I'm translating, and I'm kind of feel responsible for all this. You could die for misinterpretation or translation or anyway. So, the guy, came and I held on the rope and I went through. The rope by this time was a little bit kind of not as strong and sturdy as it used to be, kind of loose and uh, kind of swung me here and there, and I fell under the water, and people started screaming, and this guy came, two other guys came and fished me out of the water, and they grabbed me away. And once I got to the dry on the other side, I just sat there, and I could not believe that I am on the other side. People were cheering and even clapping for that rescue. And it's like, there is a winning. They accomplished something. Here is a stranger saving a stranger in Sina, and and everything was lost, luggage, equipment, everything. But the Bedouins, all those strangers, had risked their lives, had risked their life to save ours. I might not remember their name, but I will never forget their faces. It really is. It is an amazing story, an amazing rescue. The guy took us after that. Of course, everybody's wet and dirty, and host us in his house, give us new clothes, Bedouin clothes, and we stayed there and prepare us food. And it was. Lost everything, we missed the flight, or everything, but we really gained friends and human story of that people, those strangers. I don't know where they are now, but well, thank you so much. And one day I'm gonna actually make it back and try to find those people and thank them, because those guys didn't want to take any gift, didn't want to take any money, And I was asking the guy who's actually, it's like our who rescue everything, and he was with us. And I asked him, how do we pay those people who participated? Did people ask for money or something? He said, anybody ask you for money, he did not participate in the rescue. And he was just an amazing thing. He said, the people who ask you, put their life online, they won't ask you for money. That was an amazing poetic wisdom from a young man that put his life on the line to save a stranger. Yeah, this is the story of Sinai rescue that happened a few years back. And I thought, just share it with you. And a lot of horrible stories happening now. This is a Ramadan story. Ramadan started this week. And Ramadan is a month of blessing and giving, and that just reminded me of that story. And so, it's not really this time. I'm not ranting. This I'm just telling a story. And we'll see you next week. Please log in and follow, share, support us. Support our work. I just finished my film documentary, and I'm gonna, work on distribution, film festival. So log in and support in any way you can. Thank you. We'll see you next week.